Welcome to the Co-Creators podcast. I'm Chloe Anderson.
And I'm Lakita Williams, and we help leaders and organizations build the future of work. Hello, co-creators. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. And welcome back to the pod. We're excited to be back this year and talking to you.
I know, back this year, even though I put an episode out last week about TikToks, but it is our first episode of the year.
Yes.
And after our break, which was so lovely. And I think, Lakita, I don't know if we've ever talked about our break
The setup.
practices of what we do. So that may be a great place to start off, because we're gonna share a little recap of what we did on our break and then talk about how we're integrating back in and
I think that's
going.
great. Yeah. So let's talk about the structure, right? I think it was probably about 2 years ago that we made the decision to really formally put some intentional pauses in place where it's not just our time off or other team members' time off. It's when does the business close, right? To give us a true settling in, right? Like a sense of you have time for yourself and things aren't also continuing to go when you're not there. Although things do when we're on vacation, but that we can all take a break together. And I think that was really important to us. So with that, what we decided is we take a week off in the spring, which the business closes. We close we used to do 1 week, but I think we're 2 weeks in August now.
Yeah.
And then we have the 2 weeks that are the end of the year. And so we communicate that to clients. And, we're really transparent about it. We build around that intentionally when we're accepting clients, when we're taking on new projects. And it is something that has worked really, really beautifully for us. And it gives the company a sense of rest as well. And everyone is off at the same time. And I found it to be a really valuable and beautiful practice.
Yeah, I love everyone being off at the same time because it makes such a difference, because I'm not worried about what am I missing? Do I need to be checking emails? Yes, for client stuff, because those things will come up, but it makes such a big difference in terms of what it feels like. It also let me know for myself a couple of things that I didn't plan well enough for the break. So I had to get online and do a couple of things just in preparation. Part was some things developed right as we were going into break, and I just had to do some work. But I could have. I didn't reach out to Vanessa to get support because she was also on break. So it was okay, this is some good information for me as I think about even going into our break in the spring. There were a few additional things I could have done in advance in preparation to have gotten even a little bit more, really been totally offline, because I definitely had to jump in and do a couple of things, and that was okay. And it was my choice, and it didn't impact anyone else.
Yes, I love that. I love that you named, and Vanessa, if you all don't know, or this is your first time listening, is our project manager or your lead project manager. And what I love there is you were and then I took the steps to do whatever the thing is that needed to be done. I think that's a big part of our culture as well, right? Which is do it. And so it is one of our agreements. And so anyone can step in and do what needs to be done. And we all know and understand the systems. We have a clear respect of role clarity, but also we can get in there and do it. And so even in the midst of, not being fully off, you were able to get in there and get it done, which I think it just set us up so beautifully for the start of the year and what we're doing for our clients. Because we're actually tomorrow, maybe this will be the same day that you all hear the pod, we're headed off to New York for 4 days to deliver some client deliverables and meet some of our clients in person, which we're thrilled to do.
Yes, so excited. And over the break, I probably ended up working maybe 5 hours total. And it was interesting because I had a moment where I was oh, if I get online and I do a few more things before we come back into the office, that's going to make coming back in easier. And I found myself in this design initially was and then what happens? And then what happens? And so I made a really conscious decision to go, nope, I'm doing exactly what I have to
Yeah, have to
do.
do.
And then I will figure it out when we're back online because I need rest. I need a reset. I need, right, to just
Spaciousness, yes.
spaciousness, time with family where I'm not going, oh, I got to just hop online real quick and do this thing. Like I was really able to be so present, which felt so good. And I filled that time. So maybe not quite
Yes.
as much rest, but things that really rest. Like there's so many different
Ways of
types of
rest. Yeah,
rest, right?
it's
And
the 8 types of rest. Yeah,
yeah,
it will include in the show notes because that's
yes.
actually a practice that someone has written about.
So I was able to like spend some really good social time with my family. We've got my husband's daughter and son-in-law and our grandson living with us right now and was able to just really enjoy holidays with like a through 4-year-old eyes, which was so fun.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And get in all the pickleball and all the Pilates and all the baking and just things and crocheting and all these things that just feed my soul. So it was just such a great break. And I'm so glad I made the decision to not let kind of work creep in because it's going to be
Yes.
there and I'm going to get it done. Right? Like
Yes.
that's going to happen.
And it's so easy to do to allow that, like a couple of like one more email or getting down. One of my favorite things is to be at inbox zero, right? And it's easy to, I almost logged on the Sunday before we were back. I'm like, and then I can open Monday. I'm like, or I can do that Monday morning and set the time aside. So to fully be in a place of rest. So it's 7 types of rest. And that theory is by Dr. Saundra Dalton-Smith. And we will include some details about that. But it does take intentional practice because if we aren't constantly doing, right, then oftentimes we will feel like I'm going to be behind, I'm making up, but the pause is the point, right? The break is
Yeah.
the point. And it is not a time that we have put in place to quote unquote catch up on work. It is a time to go into one of these 7 types of rest. And I heard so many in the description for what you were doing as well. And that's the point.
Yeah. And I think not that we need to debrief everything that we each did over break, but I shared yesterday, and we're going to talk about kind of how we came back in with our team, but I shared yesterday in our team meeting, like I had the most perfect New Year's Eve day ever. And it was just so lovely. And Lakita, you've heard this a few times now. But it was like I got up in the morning, I went to Pilates, we played some pickleball. So I started like by physically moving my body, which just makes such a difference for me.
Yeah.
And then I had cousins over who were in town and we did a whole cookie decorating party for their kids and had like 10 little kids running around while there were like 15 adults chit-chatting. And then had this traditional Swiss French dinner for New Year's that I had the first time when I was an exchange student in Belgium called raclette, it's like one of my favorite meals. And so we did that and just had a lovely, like it was just such a lovely, stress-free,
Oh,
fun day.
yeah.
Like it was so
Connected.
fun. Yes.
Yeah,
So
I love
present, so
that.
connected. I took exactly 2 pictures, right?
Yes. Oh, you were connected for
No, I
real.
was
Right.
like
Locked
present.
in.
Yep. It was amazing.
Locked
It was
in. I love
amazing.
that. I think so one of the things that was really cool about our break this year is we have 4 kids and the 2 middles decided like we want the whole house to be decorated. And so they took their time and their money and decorated the entire house and it was so cozy. I mean, they found like the cutest things I wouldn't even have thought of. Like we have a Christmas crossword puzzle that was hanging on the wall and posters from Christmas movies like Home Alone. And I think it's A Nightmare Before Christmas and like all the things. They decorated both the outside and the inside, and it just made everything so beautiful. So as people would stop by, they're like, wow, your house looks so cozy, and it made it feel really, really special. And one of the things that we typically do is we select a word of the year. But instead of that, this year I was feeling really called for vision boards again. So I got everyone together, grabbed all the magazines and the boards, and they're like, okay, here we go with mom, but it's my thing. Everyone supports me in this. And we all designed our vision boards together. And then our son, who's in Chicago, he called in and did it virtually
Oh,
in
you weren't messing
Chicago. Oh,
around.
we listen,
This is a
locked in.
family locked in
we
event.
are, we are doing this vision board. And so that was really, really beautiful as well. So it definitely felt very restful and also active. We did some fun things. We did a what's the thing where you go into the rooms and you get out?
Escape room.
Escape room. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did one of those, which was fun as well. So just making some really intentional time to spend time together, both in like as 2025 was ending and as we're thinking about the year ahead. So it's really cool.
I love that. And like the intentional time together, what I'm trying to think about right now is how do I, even with work happening, like how do I still carve out those intentional times and really
Yes.
be so present? Because it's so easy to like be distracted and
Yeah.
to be thinking, oh, I should be doing XYZ. And as you were talking through those like productivity things, like I should be or I could be, my Enneagram 3
Yeah.
has really had to learn how to like rest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
And take
almost
that
like it
break.
has to be, yes, that rest has to almost be on my checklist, right? Like,
Yes, and on your calendar. I
yeah,
think we meet ourselves where we are, right? Like it is for me in the we do the values assessment by Susie Welch, and in my top values is work, and just like okay, I'm okay with that. And I will meet myself where I am and say, hey, I know, right? Knowing all that we know and having the knowledge that we know that rest and intentionality around that is critical. And so let's put it on the calendar, right? Which is what we do in marking off these days. And then some of the work that I need to do around detachment, I'll do during that time because I have to practice that, but not shame myself for the fact that it's an important and a high value for me.
oh, and I think that meeting ourselves where we're at is so valuable. I actually was just meeting with a client and we were talking through returning to work, and she did the same thing. She had 2 weeks off and it was great. And now she's like inundated, right? And already starting to kind of beat herself up a little bit. And it's like,
Mhm.
nope, nope, we're going to meet ourselves where we're at
Mhm.
and we're going to look at what the situation is and what we can do and what we can't do
Yeah.
and be real about it,
Yeah, I love
right?
that. It's to your point about like we feel like we're inundated, but one of the things I think we say in coaching all the time is you have a choice. Now you
Yep,
have to live with the consequences of that choice, but you always get to choose. And it is something so empowering about that where we don't feel like things are happening to us, right? And so we get to choose and we can choose whether, hey, we feel like we're being inundated or am I going to make a different choice here? And so we have kind of done that as we are coming back into the new year. We typically don't start off with a trip right at the top of the year,
right.
but we made a decision intentionally for our clients to say, hey, how do we help you set up for this new year? And so we're headed out right at the top of the year. But when we met with the team, on Monday, we said, okay, let's outline kind of what are the macro level things. What's our number one goal for the year? We are all aligned on that number one goal. And then we all have actions that go towards it. So we outlined and reconnected with that. Folks worked on their checklists and what's ahead. And we also talked about like what are the times off, right? When are we going to come together as a team? And we planted the seeds for that as well.
Yes, and it was so like our team meeting happens to be on Monday anyway, so it
Hmm.
worked out that way. And what I realized when we came together is like that was such a great way to come in
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
2 weeks off was
Yeah.
to reconnect, to get together as a team to do, we are all of us on the team are pretty straight to business.
Yes.
We tend to be straight to business. But we did take time to like hear what people had done. We did such a good job.
I was so proud of us.
And it was fun, right? It was fun to hear everyone's updates and what they were doing. The other thing I want to name is we made the choice to take on this client in New York and like go there is rather than just fly in and fly out and do the client work, we made the choice to go together and to make the trip more spacious, right? Yeah. To like build in a little bit more space to be able to have time to meet with our other clients who are there, and really we're intentional about that. So I am looking, rather than feeling like harried about this trip, I'm actually feeling really excited about it.
Yes, I agree. Same way. I think we're going to meet with so many of our clients, and we're so grateful for them for making the effort, because some of them are a little bit out of New York. And just that time to connect and talk in person and meet in person. And I think that's an intention. Well, I don't think it's an intention that we set towards the end of 2025. Like we have a running joke where we're like, we're outside, right? And so it's our intention to be outside and connect with people in person. And so I'm excited for how that's going to look as we continue to go through the rest of the year.
I agree. And I'm really excited about this. Like we each have, you did a vision board. I've got my little mantra for the year, which comes from a wine bottle that I purchased, sparkling wine for New Year's.
The best mantras. Yeah.
The
best practices.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm going to do epic shit this year. And setting an intention, and both we have our company goal intention, right? Like here's what we're going to do as an organization, but then also setting intentions for ourselves is one of the things that I feel like really helps keep me grounded and come back to, like, as an organization, we have working agreements and we have those things that bring us back, but having that intention for myself also is like, it's interesting. It's already come up where I'm like, should I do this or should I do this? Well, what aligns better with do epic shit? Right? I'm going to do this thing. Yes. So it's if you are listening and you have not done a vision board or set an intention, whatever works for you, right? There's so many different ways to do this. Setting an intention, picking a word for the year. Yeah, just having a focus. I would highly encourage you to take some time to do it. And yes, like New Year's is a nice calendar marker. And also you can do this anytime.
Yes, like, absolutely.
It doesn't have to be at New Year's.
Yeah, it doesn't. And one of the things that I very firmly believe is what we intend happens. And so when we set that intention, I just like watch it unfold. And there is so much opportunity and power in that. So we would love, actually, I think it would be really cool for us to hear from you all. You've heard that we set a goal or intention for the year, and Chloe's is do epic shit. I'm holding our team goal alongside being outside. And so would love to hear from you. What is your word, vision, or intention for the year? When we share it, right, that it creates a level of expansiveness. And so we would love to hold that space for you. So email us. Where do they email us at, Chloe?
podcast@CoCreateWork.com.
So email us again at podcast@CoCreateWork.com and let us know what's your vision for the year, intention, word of the year. We would love to hear from you and hold space for you, because when we share, it expands that intention. And we are looking forward to 2026. We look forward to continuing to remain in community with you, and let's go do epic shit. And as always, thank you for your leadership.
We hope today's conversation gave you something to think about, and more importantly, something you can use. If this episode resonated with you, we'd love for you to share it with another leader, entrepreneur, or friend who might benefit from hearing it. And for additional resources, frameworks, and tools related to our topic, please be sure to subscribe to our newsletter at CoCreateWork.com. And of course, if you have any question you'd like us to explore in a future episode, we would love to do that. So please send it to podcast@CoCreateWork.com. As always, thank you for being here and thank you for your leadership.